Hi players, bonjour from Geneva, my name is Asaf and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today we're going to have a review slash first impressions for Apex Legends that was published by Glass Cannon Unplugged. Before we're diving into this review, let's go into this table and understand what Apex Legends is all about. Apex Legends is a highly interactive and also competitive game that is going to be team versus team for 1 until 6 players. In this game that is also very adjustable from one playing mode to another, we're going to have a few phases. The first one is the legend loadout, where we're going to choose one of the many legends that we have. That is, of course, depends on which pledge did you take. I'm going to talk about this specific one as we're going to go through. And after you have chosen the legend, you're going to equip it with the different loot tokens, also some weapon cards that we have over here. You're going to draw 4, choose 2 of them. And that all depends on the mode of the game that you have chosen. Since this is not really a how to play video, feel free to check that one out on my channel. I'm going to go usually with the basic mode that we have over here, and that is the Battle Royale. After the Legend loadout, we're going to have the map drop. We're going to use this little board that we have over here in order to choose where do the different characters are going to go into the board. Usually we're going to have here some tokens and also epic loot tokens, and the different characters, the different legends are going to choose one side. They're going to take the epic loot token, and also they're going to do whatever we have on the other special token. They're going to go into this board performing move between 1 and 3 or 4 even if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to receive something that is a little bit extra, just another small bonus, and they're going to go into this map. Then we're going to go to the third phase, which is the meat and bones of Apex Legends, and that is the final encounter, where basically we're going to activate squad by squad and just advancing on this initiative track. The red team obviously is always going to play first, but they also need to go into the map first, so that gives the blue team a little bit more of adaptability to their situation, and a few more cool aspects that we have over here just to keep the game very balanced. In each team's activation, we're going to choose one of the legend and we're going to activate it. And we have a bunch of stuff that we can do: move, shoot, interact with one of these loot boxes. Each legend is going to have 2 activation points, and that is really going to give them a lot of flexibility to do their stuff. They also have something that is called their special ability, either a tactical ability or ultimatum. Just like, for example, the legend Gibraltar will be able to send to the board something like this that is called a defensive bombardment. That is something that will affect really a lot of spaces around the map and going to cause some damage. Or they will be able to do something else that is called the Dome of Protection, where they will be able to situate it, and then it's going to give some defense for the legends that are inside of this, but also it's going to prevent them from shooting outside of it. Again, guys, this is just an example to show you a few things on the game. Between the activations of each squad, we're going to have here something that is called the transition phase, and that is something that if your legend is outside of the ring, they are going to receive some damage. It can be ring, it can be something else that has like a different effect. Then we're going to draw another fit card. We're going to advance the cooldown. Cooldown is something that every time that we're going to use one of the special abilities, after we have resolved that, we are going to take that token, for example, if we're talking about the bombardment, and then we're going to place it on the track that we have over here according to how much cooldown does it have. So again, this is something that really simulates actually the video game, but we're going to talk about it a little bit later down the review. Then, of course, we're going to advance over here the round mark, and we know that we have here 8 rounds maximum. And over here, we can see that we have some icons that is basically going to regard the card that we have over here in order to close down the ring. And then later, if again, we're going to go to this transition phase and we have a legend that is outside of it, it's going to receive damage according to the threshold where the round marker is situated. And like this, we're going to continue round after round, just going through the map, interacting, taking cover, trying to calculate the line of sight and so on. And we'll need to answer one of the immediate winning conditions. So basically that means that we need to collect 2 of these death tokens that we have from the other team members, at least 1 from each legend. Or again, it really depends on the mode that you're choosing. And if by the end of the 8th round we don't have a winner, then we're going to have a certain amount of tiebreakers. Now over here, what you can see is also some components from the solo mode that I'm going to address a little bit again further down the video. So that was a very brief overview of what we have over here in Apex Legends. We actually do have a lot more than that into this game, but that is in a very, very basic way that at least you could have seen the board a little bit and understand what we're going to have here, the combat aspect that we have between the different legends, between the different teams. And also what we saw over here is actually part of my solo mode video, but you did see over here the 4 legends because we have here 2 versus 2. This game can go up to 3 versus 3. So guys, let's dive into this review, and as always I'm going to start first of all talking about the setup and the ease of learning this game. So regarding setup, I think that what frightened me the most at the beginning when I just opened this gigantic box, by the way, is just seeing the quantity of the materials that we had in this box. It's wow, there's a lot of things in there. The different amount of cards, the different miniatures. So that was a little bit overwhelming. And also to understand how to actually build this 3D terrain that we have over here. But after you're getting used to it, after you understand what you need to do and you're choosing the map and you understand which buildings you need to bring into your board, then it becomes a little bit easier. And the setup, after you understanding the different materials, after also you're repacking everything that you have into this box, you'll be able to do it in a way that is more comfortable for you. And that means that setup, while not going to probably be a short setup, but it's going to be a little bit more comfortable than at least the first or second time even that you're setting up the board. So it's not going to be a game that maybe is going to be extremely easy to bring to the table, but I do think that to its scale, it's not going to be too bad as well. I think that we've seen other big games that are going to take much longer to set up, and the experience over here, it's totally worth it, especially because of the playtime, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. Regarding the ease of learning the game. So, I'll be honest with you, I had some struggles with 2 things mainly. First of all, in the basic game, I think that the line of sight is a little bit more tricky to learn. Of course, if you're a tabletop miniature kind of player, then this is going to be super easy for you. And I do think that the system that they have over here with the squares and actually go from the center to the center makes things much easier. But still with the line of sight, it is a little bit complicated to understand in the beginning. So thankfully, I had a TTS session with the developer of this game, super nice guy. Thank you so much for taking your time and playing with me. And it made things have a little bit more sense, especially because we have here again the 3D terrain. So we have the ground level, first floor, second floor, and that does affect the line of sight. But after you understand the logic of it, I think that it becomes much easier and much more even intuitive to understand if you do have line of sight between 2 legends. Besides that, I think that the shooting action that we have over here, which is just 1 action but has so many sub things that we need to do, that we need to calculate, that we need to actually perform on the table, is another thing that might be a little bit tricky. It was much easier for me to understand. And also they have a very cool system over here with the aim cards, but we're going to talk about it more when we'll actually reach the section of combat, let's say, over here. So these 2 things, if you manage to understand them, it's going to make the game run much more smoothly and be much more streamlined than it seems maybe in the first or even second game. But actually, I think that if your first game you manage to understand those things, then it's going to be a piece of cake for you guys. Besides of that, I think that the rest of the game is very streamlined. After you manage to load out your character, you made the map drop, you understood what's going on when you're dying, going to the respawn. The rest of the game is actually kind of like okay, streamlined. And also there are so many good examples in this rulebook. Really, for everything that they're explaining, we're going to have multiple explanations, not only 1, but multiple explanations with actually drawings and showing you what is what, which is something that in a, I'm not going to say extremely heavy game, but more on the heavier side of games, this is something that I truly appreciate. So rulebook is great to learn from. Yes, it is a little bit exhausting to go over it, but I think that it is written in such a way that is going to leave you with less questions than you might have expected from a game in this scale. So learning the game is going to take you maybe a little bit of time. Feel free to watch my video and hopefully it's going to help you guys. And also Glass Cannon Unplugged, on their Discord, they have actually a section over there that you can sign up to a tutorial game. Just someone from Glass Cannon, Derek, which is really a super nice guy. They're going to have a session with you. Of course, it's going to be in a team of 4 players, and they're just going to walk you through it. I think that this is an amazing thing. I'm going to have one more in the European hours. It's going to be 7 p.m. this Tuesday. Feel free to sign up if you want to come by and check it out with pleasure, which is, I think, that more companies need to do that. Just like, hey, we know that we have a game that might be a little bit trickier to understand, so we're going to have someone from our team to actually go with you through the ropes of the game to make it seem easier than what it really is. And I think that is a great feature that more companies should apply to their heavier titles. After that, let's move on to the meat and bones actually of this review, and that is the gameplay. How does it actually feel? So for that, I have a super short story for you, just for you to understand what is my background with Battle Royale, which is almost zero. But a few years ago, I was trekking in Serbia with a friend of mine. It was super cool. By the way, Serbia, beautiful country. We traveled in Tara National Park, which is really a wonderful area. Maybe with a lot of bears, maybe too many bears. But again, it was super nice. After that, we went to the capital and we actually just took, a few days to relax after this trekking. I was never such a big player on the phone or something like that, but he told me, hey, there's this game, Battle Royale, something, you should check it out. And for 3 days, basically, like when we just relaxed, and took our time after this trekking, we just played this game. I don't remember what was its name, but we just had a lot of fun. And I remember how cool it was for me to engage first time basically with this system that is called Battle Royale. So basically you're just being dropped in a place and you have with time, you have this string that is closing down on you. If you're finding yourself outside, then you're taking damage, loot tokens, drop-offs, and really cool. So fast forward a few years later and I'm receiving Apex Legends. By the way, I never played the computer game, so I can't compare really how it is to go from the video game to the board game, but I do have a sense of what is a Battle Royale, and that is exactly what I have received with Apex Legends. I mean, this cool feature, let me take you back again to the table, that the ring every few rounds is going to just keep closing down on you, and by a lot. It's not going to be only by 1 or something like that. Here, for example, we're going to close the ring 2 times over here and then 2 times over there, and that is going to make basically the playing area much smaller, so players are going to be more in each other's faces. That is a feature that I really appreciate, and we have more things into this game. We also have some events and other stuff that are going to impact the whole table, which is something that I didn't engage with too much, but it is an option to have in this game. It really feels good that you will have different abilities to actually activate. It feels really good that you have a lot of possibility to gain loot over here. I mean, you're going to open some of these supply bins that you have, and they're going to also have another aspect of taking cover with. In my opinion, just to translate this feeling from a video game to a board game in such a cool way, it's awesome. Of course, with that, it's not going to be as easy as a video game, of course, when you're just basically need to aim and shoot. Over here, you do need to make sure that you have a line of sight over here, which again can be complicated at the beginning until you're getting this. For example, let me show you how does it go. If I'm situated with Gibraltar over here, sorry about that, we're going to keep it over here. If I'm situated with Gibraltar over here and I want to see if I can take a look at Bloodhound that is situated over here, let's say, then basically I need to count a little bit of spaces until the last blockage. Over here it's going to be 1, 2, and then because it's 1 level difference, I will need to count 2 spaces from here to see if I can see them. So again, it's not the end of the world, and it might be a little bit more tricky if we have other blockages until that legend. So it does take time to get used to it, but it is much faster than what I at least saw. Never played Warhammer 40k or something like that, but I think it's much easier actually with the system of the spaces over here with the squares and their center than actually take all of these measurement tools that you can see in the different videos, and they're like, oh, but it's 1 millimeter over here. I'm not sure that you can really see it. Much more streamlined, and this is something that I 100% appreciate. So I think that the game actually goes much faster with time, the more comfortable you are with this game. And that is actually pretty cool, because I think that after you're finishing one game, you're not like, okay guys, let's just pack up the game and play something else. This is going to be your evening, okay? Apex Legends, when you're setting it on the table, it's going to be your evening 100%, and you're just going to switch characters, maybe try different modes. Maybe this time it's going to be Battle Royale, then it's going to be a deathmatch, then it's going to be a boss battler, and there's just a lot of way to enjoy this game, which is something that I appreciated, and we're going to circle back to it when we're going to talk about replayability as well. So the gameplay itself feels very good. The different equipments, the shields, the knockdown. Really, there's a lot to talk about over here. I don't want to take too much of your time, but just for you to understand that, in my opinion, the gameplay feels great. Let's move on to another section that we have over here, and that is the combat itself. And I think that they have here such a cool mechanism that also gives you this excitement of just try and customize your weapons as much as possible. So let me again take you down to the table and try to explain a little bit better. So if we're taking, for example, this card that we have over here, okay? This is a weapon card. And we do have here 2 attachments that are going to do something. So we have over here on this card something that is called optimal range. And if you're actually outside of it, then the to-hit difficulty is going to actually increase, which is something that you don't want. And then you're going to draw some cards. Now, basically, when you need to draw this number of cards, you're going to start from 0, and then you're going to go to the right, which is actually pretty cool, because you're going to have on the right some negative modifiers, which actually makes sense, because when you're shooting like a few bullets at a time, your weapon become much less accurate, right? If you have like this one single shot, like boom, then you have just the first recoil. But if you're shooting like a few bullets, then you're like boom, boom, boom. Okay, so basically your rifle goes up a little bit. So it kind of makes sense. I like it that you lose the stability the more bullets that you're going to shoot. But over here we have something that can impact us into a positive way, and that is called a stabilizer. So it just gives you a stability 2, for example, which means that instead of starting on 0, you're going to take 2 steps over here to the left that has actually a positive modifier, and only from there you're going to go to the right, which is something that I appreciate. These small details are so awesome. And on top of that, when you're starting to draw these cards, you're going to have numbers of them. And besides, sorry about that. And besides, of course, the different things over here that now you need to understand if they are matching or exceeding the to-hit difficulty, and then understand if you have actually a hit. Then what happens over here that you have also these type of symbols that are saying, hey, if your guy is behind the cover, that is going to be a hit in any case. Or if they are below you, or if they're higher than you, then you're just missed in any case. Then we're going to calculate the headshots. Everything here is a subject to change, and that is according to the different attachments that you have on your gun, which is just something amazing, because it's going to make the customization of your weapon so much more fun. I think this is a great aspect that we have in this game. I'm not so sure if to say that this is the best aspect, but definitely like it's up there, okay? I think this is one of the things that I enjoy the most over here, is just to get more loot tokens. And this is what this game is all about, right? Just getting more loot, upgrade your weapons, getting more ammunition, and then just make sure that you're annihilating your enemies. It's so cool. And also, like we have over here, when different legends are going to take damage, then their equipment, their loot actually will be able to prevent them from getting a headshots, for example, if you have a good helmet, or their knockdown shield is going to help them a little bit. Their gear is going to help them to restore some of those hit points or shield points. So the game like goes quickly, not too quickly, but again, I remind you that the map is just keeping to close down on us. Now, this is just when I'm talking about the special feature of the ring. You do have other modes and other maps that are not going to have this ring, or are going to have this ring and also going to have something else. So this is everything that I'm saying now is almost only in the basic game. You know, the more that you're going to explore, the more things you're going to have. This is why I'm thinking that Apex is such a great game. So after we spoke about combat, which is another aspect that I love, let's move on to another segment of this video, and that is the production value of this game. I mean, take a look at the game, you guys. This whole thing, and by the way, probably you cannot see it from the angle of the camera. So let me just show you. Hold on. Let me take this one over here. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to ruin the terrain. But just like this small thing that we have over here, you know, like this graffiti that we can find on the different buildings it's such a cool feature, is something that I really appreciate. The miniatures are great. Obviously, I need to paint them. And when I say I need to paint them, I'm looking at you because you all need to paint them. I'm talking to my girlfriend over there. This is definitely on you. But I think that even the standees that we have over here are kind of great. Maybe a little bit of a pain in the, right, just to build them and place them. And maybe it's going to be a little bit less comfortable to go back and forth into the box. But in general, I think that the table presence that we have over here with this game is absolutely insane. I'm going to show you again what we have over here. I mean, look at the different abilities. It's not simply just like placing a token. Not that it would have bothered me, but having this over here, you know, and then the Dome of Protection. And then, for example, for Wraith, we're going to have this Dimensional Rift. You know, it's so... Oh my God, how cool is that they will be able just to go from one place to another. I find it so thematic, I don't know, so interesting. The table presence here, in my opinion, is off the charts. I think that it's 100% worth it, and I don't regret it at all. I mean, look at this cool thing that Bloodhound has, and that is like some eagles that they can attach, and then it's going to give Bloodhound some bonuses. And I just showed you over here like 4 basics legends that we have much more in this gigantic box over here. So this is absolutely something that I can't wait to explore more. On top of that, I don't have, and this is okay already outside of the production, but in general, I'm not such a huge maybe miniature kind of player. Maybe I should become a bigger fan of these games, but I don't have any other game in my collection like Apex Legends, okay? None of them. I like how relatively quickly does it play. I like that not only after one game you want to repack this game, you're going to, again, like I've said before, you would like to play it again and again just to explore more things of this game, or more like going to be a little bit upset, because I do get upset sometimes when I'm losing and I'm like, okay, I don't care, let's do another one. Now I'm playing like this legend and this one. Just the many options that you have over here is quite incredible, which leads me to another segment of this video, and that is the replayability. So in case it wasn't clear with everything that I've said until now, the replayability value over here is, again, I know that I said it already in a few videos. I hate to say endless, but I mean, with so many modes, maps, legends, opportunities, possibilities, what more do you want from one game? Oh, and that will lead me to the solo mode also, but just in a few more seconds. So I think that basically you have in this game everything that you need to enjoy these type of games. So if you're looking for a game that is just going to give you time after time, like more options and more things that you can enjoy it, I think that Apex Legends might be cool for you. Again, I'm talking about this box that we have over here. I don't know what you exactly receive, only with the core box, for example, how many legends. Maybe that's on me and I should have checked it before making this video. Obviously, you're going to receive a little bit less content than what you have in this gigantic box. But I still think that even if you're receiving only 4 legends or 6 legends, something like that, and you will be able to create different maps, I totally think that it is worth it. and I think that even there you're going to have a lot of game. The last thing that I want to talk about is actually also the solo mode. So again, another thing that is going to help you enjoy this game. If you want to crack open Apex Legends and you don't have a partner with you, no problem at all. We do have over here the solo mode, which is pretty cool because from what I've seen so far, you can basically take any legend that you want, and thanks to a specific kit of Automa for that specific legend, you'll be able to play against that. Or also, if you don't want to control actively two legends, you'll be able to play as one player and another one, your squad mate, is going to be an Automa as well. I like it a little bit less. I prefer to already activate two legends, but your enemy is going to be 100% Automa activated. And that Automa, even though again, it's going to be kind of tricky. I think that their movement over here is a little bit more complicated than what I think it could have been, or at least the explanation, but we'll get to that just in a minute. So this is another way that you'll be able to enjoy it. And after you understand a little bit, after you have performed these actions for the Automa a few times, it's going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be exactly like playing against an opponent, obviously. And yes, you will need to operate here a little bit more things, but it feels good, okay? The movement feels good. The priorities of the Automa feels good. Their tactical reposition, and that means that at the end of their turn, they're going to try to retreat a little bit to a place that is more hidden. It makes you feel that you're going to play against something that is going to really challenge you, which is something that I 100% appreciate. So after saying all of this, what's the flaws, Asaf? I mean, come on, give us something that we can at least say that this video is credible. I'm kidding, this video is totally credible. You know me. So I think that the main downsides that I have over here with this game is, first of all, the rules. For example, if we just talked about the Automa, the rulebook that we have over here seems like small, nice, cozy, but I think that the movement of the Automa, for example, could have been described over here in a better way. What do I mean? It's funny that I'm going to say what I'm going to say because usually I'm a little bit against it, but I think that with a good flow chart, okay? One flow chart. So yeah, make up maybe a bigger rule book for this Automa thingy, but I think that if you're going to have an A4 flow chart of like, okay, this is what you have two possibilities: danger zone, no danger zone. Is this the thing? And then just explain exactly what is going to happen. It would have been much easier to follow than just follow what we have over there with the legend card, which is what we have over here. And I'm not saying I think that it's relatively described well, especially again if you played a few times, but every time that I'm not sure about something regarding movement, I will have to go back to the rulebook, open it and check it out. Until today, I think that it's kind of impossible for me to play without this rulebook. So this is a downside that I have over here. Also, I think that they could have done something better with a probably line of sight that we have over here. I think that this maybe line of sight could have been 50% of this rulebook, because I feel that this is the heaviest aspect that we have in this game, is just to calculate the line of sight. And what do we do when it's like a little bit of blockage, a little bit of cover, 45 degrees angle rule, and so on and so on. I think that just of line of sight needed to be the 100% where Glass Cannon Unplugged are going to put their focus on. So if you can go over that, if you can like, okay, the rules, we're going to learn them better. By the way, the solo rule video that I'm going to present to you is going to come up in a few days. Depends when you're watching this review, but it's coming up, so don't worry about it. I got you covered. I think that if you can pass through the rule book and understand that you're going to something that might be a little bit trickier to understand at the beginning at least, and you're looking for something with great value of replayability, the table presence that is off the chart, combat that is interesting and smart, loot tokens everywhere, guns that are changing. I don't know, this is such a fun game. Then Apex Legends is the game for you guys. This is something that is definitely is going to stay in my collection, even if it means that I need to kick out something else. That is totally okay. This is a price that I'm willing to pay because this is something unique that I have in my collection. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you learned something new or saw something that you like, consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free and it's a huge way to help me out. Thank you for watching. Take care and I'll see you next time.